came out at the range to test my recrownting of this 17 HMR barrel. We'll see how she goes. Okay, I didn't manage to get any footage out at the range the other day. I didn't even bring the target back with me afterwards. My go at recrowning the 17 HMR, well, it didn't exactly work, but it didn't hurt it either, which makes me think I either didn't cut far enough in to get right to the very edge of the crown, or there was something else going on, because it was shooting too erratically, and it didn't make sense to me how the groups were shooting. So they were sort of shooting erratically, the same as they were the other day. Went from good groups to just wider, erratic groups. So I'm not sure. I've checked the torque on the stock and I've tightened it slightly up to 20 inch-pounds. The screws weren't loose at all, so I don't know if that was an issue. Just the lower torque. I'm not sure what the Weirauch HW66s are supposed to be torqued to on the action screws, but I've torqued it 20 inch-pounds front and rear. But before I do anything else with it, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to take it to the gunsmith. It's about 100k. He's not even 100 k's away. He's probably 30 or 40 k's away, probably closer to 40, something like that. But he usually has a pretty big backlog, so it could be months, 6 months or so until I get it back and I do anything else with it. But the other update is I got the scope back for, actually I don't know if I mentioned that in a previous video. I received the Burris scope back that had the damage on the eyepiece lens. I got that back within, say, 3 weeks from Burris after I sell the Burris Australia distributor, which is Beretta Australia. 3 weeks within sending it in, I had a new in-box one posted back to me, which I had to go out and pick up from the post collection point here. Got it mounted up, put it straight back on the Beretta, leveled the reticle, and she was good to go. I think the first shot was, it was pretty much right vertically and only an inch or so out horizontally from the aiming point at 50 yards. I think I made one correction and then fired, I think it was a total of 3 shots at 100 yards. Made a correction after the first one at 100 and then fired 2 which were touching each other, which were pretty much bang on where I wanted them, so I just left it like that. So the 308 Beretta BRX1 is good to go with those outer edge projectiles. I'll have to try and get out and do some hunting if I can scrape some money together. The big problem at the moment is my ute needs a clutch bearing. I took it into my local mechanic. He said they'd pull it apart. They diagnosed it, said yeah, it looks like the clutch bearing. It could need the whole clutch. They'll have to see what it and the seal looks like in the where the gearbox joins up to the engine when they get it apart. They said they'd have to have my vehicle for a couple of days, and I've got to go in and prepay for some of the stuff so that it's ready to go if they need it, and if they don't need it, they'll just refund me and send it back. But that's the big thing at the moment, and it's not going to be cheap. I think if it was just the bearing and everything else looked schmick still when they pull it apart, it'll be $1,275 or something like that, I think, from the quote they gave me. And if it needs the other stuff done as well, it'll be another $1,300 and something on top of that. So that's the big spend at the moment, is getting that ready. So I'll be putting off doing any shooting stuff for a little while until I've got that done at least. But yeah, that's all I've been doing at the moment is working and saving money to get keep the vehicle going. Anyway, I'll try and keep you updated if I do or get anything else, but there won't be sort of much shooting stuff coming up for a little while. It'll all be sort of other life stuff going on. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next update video or whatever I put out next. Catch you.